Hi, Dougie Burt here from Doug Burt's Tackle World on the Gold Coast, and so we're going to be talking about this weekend's fishing report for around the Gold Coast for this weekend, the 5th and 6th of September. Okay, great. So start offshore as we always do, and last weekend, unfortunately on Sunday, it was meant to be 10 knot variable, but as you know, we got out probably around about 50 metres deep, and it was already blowing like 15 knots at very early in the morning. It was horrid. So unfortunately, the forecasters never get it quite right. And the further out you go, the rougher it gets. And that measurement, the seaway, as you see on your buoy readers or your coast watch or whatever, is the seaway, which is like in a protected bay. So the further out you go, it's a lot windier than what you actually see reported. Offshore this last week actually, yeah, a few good snapper caught on the local reefs, on the close reefs. We had quite a few guys get them in the 80 centimetre size. Fishing early, fishing light, and fishing pillies, very small sinkers. There's not much current at the moment, but wind drift, and using like sort of quarter ounce, 3/8, half ounce max if you have to get your line down. But we're fishing sort of 20 pound braid, maybe 30. In on the closer reefs, and little like 2.5 or 4,000 size spin reels or little overheads. And it's been not too bad. So pillies are really good. Once that sun comes up a bit, 7 o'clock, switch to using plastics or micro jigs, and just sort of work your lures a little bit around the place. Reverse into the wind if you've got a bit of wind. This weekend, Saturday is blowing northerlies. Sunday switches around to the south at mid-morning. By sort of after lunch, it's going to be blowing, I think, a good 15 knots from the south, if not a bit more. So, it's not the best weather. It's Father's Day, so maybe get some points up and stay home, perhaps. Do the right thing for the family. But anyhow, it's you guys. That's in close on the reefs. I'll talk about spanner crabs real quick, or in close, because that's what we're talking about at the moment in the close area. Heaps of spanner crabs out there, guys. I went out Monday, you probably saw it on our YouTube page. And a lot of spanner crabs, and the bag limit throw heats back that were legal size, and I only had one pull of my pots, 4 pots. So if you got a couple of guys and 8 pots, or 3 guys and 8 pots, it wouldn't take you very long to get 60 crabs, and they're really big spanner crabs, and they're so delicious. So for those of you who have bought spanner crabs from the seafood shops, sometimes they may be fresh, sometimes they may have been frozen. If you go to a buffet restaurant, they're generally frozen and defrosted. But when you catch them fresh, there's nothing that comes near it. Muddies or sandies don't come near it. So they are the best eating crab of the lot, and they have the most meat per body size as well in comparison. Just watch the YouTube thing and you'll see how it's done. It's very easy. I was got a little 4.8 metre tinny, and when the weather's not too bad, like it come up to about probably 13 or 14 knots the other day when I was out there, but it's not a problem at all when you're spanner crabbing. So give it a shot. It's not that far out, about 50 metres deep, sort of east of Surfers Paradise. 36 fathoms. Last weekend was a little bit funny in the 36s. The fishing was so-so in some areas, but not the best. The fish that were caught, few drag, few snapper, a smaller snapper, 60 centimetres, the odd good one. Those who went right up north got a few good fish, sort of north of Jumpinpin, and those who fished down south got a few good fish, but east was not too bad as well. East of the seaway, around about 27.56 to about 28.00 was not too bad for the snapper, fishing that sort of 65 metre depth. But the better fishing was out in the 50s. So you remember that 36 fathoms is only halfway to the 50s. It's 20 k's out on average. 50s is about 40 k on average. So when you get to 36s, you're only halfway. But the 50s fish much better. So if you've got good weather and your boat's able to do it, and you got the knowledge and also the fuel, take the chance. Not take the chance, but go out with another mate or another boat. So you got 2 boats for safety, unless you know what you're doing. And venture out and have a look. The fishing is extremely good out there at the moment, particularly northeast. Lots of snapper. You'll see the sea probes and lucky strike charters and fish to deep, and all those boys have been smacking it up there this last couple of weeks, getting their bag limit, and the average size fish is around probably high 40s to low 60s with the odd 70, 80 plus size snapper amongst them. In amongst them though is also lots of kingies. I saw Ross got a couple this week, well over 20 kilos. They're good kingies to be able to land. You obviously hook bigger ones, but get them up is always a bit of a drama. They fight like the clappers, but yeah, so kingies are really good. Jigging's been fantastic. I'll be definitely going jigging as well. If you want to have some fun and take a little while to get one up, and if you don't get sharked, I would be definitely using like PE2 or PE3 on your micro jig rods, or slow pitch jigging. If you want to have a bit more of a go at it and lose a bit of weight, maybe up your ante to a PE5, 50 pound, 80 pound, and switch to like 300 gram jigs and jig fast. And a good way to lose weight and burn a few calories, and you'll definitely hook fish. So yeah, there's kingies, there's amberjacks there as well, and it's been not too bad. A few pearlies just outside the 50s and a few on the 50s as well. There's also some good parrotfish at the moment. And believe it or not, those big marble flatties are around it there as well. They're around everywhere on the reefs at the moment. 36 fathoms, particularly out in the 50s. They're average around 50 or 60 centimetres, so they're good size. So they're worth chasing as well. Pearlies out to about 120 metres or even further if you've got some good spots out a bit deeper. And then out in the deep, obviously, again, the blue eye biting out in that sort of 400 or 500 metre depth or a bit deeper. And there's been some good bass groper out there as well at the moment. I see Peter from Flawless Rods got some good ones this week as well. And there's been plenty of bar cod in that 200 to 400 metre depth. If you have the access to that CMAP Reveal, which is a new chart out from Navionics and CMAP, if it's in any Lowrance or Simrads, it is incredible. I used it the other day, blew me away. Spots I never knew existed. I've been fishing there for 40 years. They're everywhere. Everywhere where we stopped in those little dark patches, there was fish. And I haven't even started to explore that yet. So have a look online on CMAP Reveals. Look, it's a pretty cool thing. They don't do it inside of about 240 metres, which is probably a good thing for the fish, because I dare say the minority of fishermen fish deeper than about 200 metres, so that's why they've probably released it out deeper. The majority obviously fish inside of 200 metres, and it may be some time before we actually see it released in that same format. Yeah. Anyhow, the big thing this week happening out wide, folks, is the yellowfin are turning up. So heaps of tuna have been seen, and a few guys have really smacked on this earlier this week. The spot's been around that sort of very close, like for yellowfin, they're normally at about that sort of 500 metres to 1,000 metres. But this last few days, they've been in that sort of 240 metres to 260. Anywhere from off Point Lookout down to east of Jumpinpin. And lots of fish jumping, lots of bird activity, lots of bait, trolling big hard bodies through them like X-Wraps or deep diving Helcos, and lots of those big deep diving lures. And also your skirter lures in that sort of 8-inch to 10-inch size, and trolling at about 8 knots. And drop your lures back a fair way back. A lot different to marlin fishing, so drop them back sort of minimum of probably 40 to 60 metres and a lot longer than that. And probably be using a minimum of 50 pound or 24 kilo outfits. The fish will start at about probably 20 kilos, and the average fish is probably around about that 30 to 50 kilos with the odd 70 in amongst them. So big fish, guys. Get out there. They'll be here for the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks at least. We've just got to get the weather to get out there, that's the problem. Whilst you're doing that, trolling around, catching those things, if you're into the bottom fishing scene, I strongly suggest that you watch a 20-metre window on the bottom. With yellowfin, you will, if you can split your screen, you will see them down deep sometimes on the bait, and they push the bait to the surface, and then you'll see them on the surface, you'll see the bird activity. So you need to have 3 sets of eyes. One, picking out your deep drop spots on the bottom while you're cruising around, new spots. 2 is looking for bird activity in the horizon, and 3 is trying to find the fish mid-water and hoping that they're going to come up in that area sometime soon. Yeah, so give that a shot. You'll also get dolphin fish out there. There's been dolphin fish on the fads too, but they've been a bit skitty in getting them to bite. But fish light, and you may get some. There's a few good ones amongst them too, by the way. That's probably about it for offshore at the moment. Now in the seaway, back to the Broadwater, Well, actually, go start the Jumpinpin. Up at the Jumpinpin area, the flatties have been really good. Lots of good fish around that sort of 60 centimetre mark getting caught, and the numbers have definitely increased on that sort of 40 to 50 centimetre size. Definitely try around Pandanus Island, the banks around there. Excuse me, Tippler's Channel entrance, all the way down Tippler's, the islands behind Tippler's. I would definitely try down towards the entrance, the channel going down towards Jacob's Well, from the turn off to the Broadwater, and also around the measured mile there. Probably also start to look around Kalinga Bank as well. It's that time of the year, and on the high tide in the morning, it's actually a really good tide for flatties in the morning at the moment, around about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and definitely worth a go. There's still been quite a few tail around, particularly on the northern end of South Stradbroke, on the beaches, and around the eastern side of Crusoe Island, and probably down towards Tippler's Channel as well. And bream just around Crusoe Island again, and around the mud banks and the deep drop-offs. And whiting, I try around Gold Bank as always, and opposite the lagoon there on South Straddy, the northern end of South Straddy. I haven't heard of any Jew up towards the bar. There's always sharks here this time of the year, but maybe worth a try for Jewies to get some live pike and have a drop on the high tide in the morning. Yeah, that's sort of the northern end of the Broadwater. Down this end, fishing's been really, really good. If you've been watching the guys, Brad Smith and Clint off Gold Coast Fishing Charters, they've been doing really well in the estuary system for doggy mackerel, or they're like little juvenile spotted mackerel, so to speak. Their sizing is around about 40 to 60 centimetres. The legal size is 50 centimetres, but hey, these guys are getting like sort of 50 in a session. I'm releasing them obviously and keeping the couple, but they're taking little lures, which I'll show you right at the end. I'll take a quick pan of these little lures. Casting metals has been the hot way to do it, but you can do everything. You can micro jig, you can use blades, you can use soft vibes. That will get bitten in half though. Had a gentleman just today brought in a lure who's trolling around that area and got bitten in half. That's quite a substantial size lure too. They just bit it in half. So they've got aggressive teeth on them, so please be careful with your fingers, getting the hooks out. And but great fun to catch on light gear. So you're talking like your flatty gear, anywhere from 6 pound braid to around about 15, and running around about that probably 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon leader on the end. These little lures, they will bite some of these off. That's the chance you've got to take as with normal mackerel fishing, but such a buzz spinning for them. They're mid-water, and they're also on the surface at times chasing the bait as well. Anywhere, they're actually, well, the guy got bit his lure in a bit and a half was up around crab, but they'll also be down along the channels, anywhere from sort of the southern side of the seaway all the way down to Versace or down to the Gold Coast Bridge, just in that deeper water through the main channel. And look for the birds, look for the bait, and that's where they'll be at the moment. We haven't seen, it's like the squid, the arrow squid that turned up this year, first time in forever, and now we've got doggy mackerel everywhere. So how great is it getting? The fishery here is getting very, very good. Besides that, in the seaway, there's been a few good little jewies around, that sort of 70 to 90 centimetre size, the odd metre one. Again, micro jigs, live baits, soft plastics, are all working okay. The end of the north wall's been not too bad, especially the last of the run out tide. Also on the pipe as well. If you're heading up around Crab Island, a few flatties up around that area, and further up towards Browns Browns Inlet, both north and south entrances have been not too bad. The oil shots have been all right. And also get up around the back blocks, up around the back of Hansford Road and Tarana Street, in the waterways there, Coombar Creek. It's been not too bad as well. There's been the odd mangrove jack already getting caught. It's already the odd humid day. It's not very hot, but the odd humid day, and that sort of turns them on. And the barometer's been not too bad this week. It's been sort of averaging around 1,020, so that's really good as well. So give that a shot. And whiting up the Marine River, yeah, try around Council Chambers. Well, now it's called an arty place. I'm not quite sure what it's called. Give that a go at night time in particular. And if you haven't tried daytime, try further up around Carrara and Sorrento Strait, and you'll need worms or yabbies for bait. The beaches last week, there's been a few tail around. They've got a little bit quiet. That bait's all moved, I think, into the Broadwater. I think that's why the fish are here. But Definitely still worth a go off the beach for Taylor. There's been some really good sea bream around. It's a good flatties in the surf as well, and a few whiting and dart. Just the normal key places just south of the pumping jetty, opposite Phillip Park, opposite Marina Mirage Sports Complex there, and Narrowneck's been really good. And further down, try around opposite Focus building, and try further down around opposite Mermaid Beach, Reef and Mermaid Beach Surf Club there. Yeah, that's probably about it for the Broadwater. If you are going to go further south, again, I haven't had many reports, but I'll be definitely looking at around about that beach fishing sort of Tugun south, down to Cabarita and then further down to Brunswick. And in the Tweed River, the flatties will start showing up really well now. It's great flatter fishing down there, especially in the back of the hospital there. Get whiting there as well. I think that's what the flatter are feeding on, but give that a shot. And definitely try for bream around between the two highway bridges, which is between on the Talbudger and Crumman Creeks, between the two bridges in the highway and the outside highway, all the way through there. It's really good. Around Eleanor's been good too. In the lakes around the canal systems, the lakes at the mid Gold Coast and further south, Future Valley around, a few giant herring. The usual, the activities right on dark. That's the best time. You get a few in the morning too, but just on dark's the shot, using the surface poppers and vibes is really good, and give that a shot. Crab wise, yeah, the sand crabs have been not too bad, but that's not really still a pain in the backside. There's been a few crabs obviously around Sovereign Island, eastern side and western side, and Effron Island, give that a shot as well. And there's still a few arrow squid around. Like, it's been such a great season, and I see the boys with the charter boats are still catching them, so they're still there. If you go catch some squid, give it a shot. Good tides this weekend again, high tide. That first 2 hours of run out's the best time in the morning. In the dams, if you guys go out to Somerset chasing red claw at the moment, and definitely worth a go for Yellow Belly in Somerset, and also Mulgra and Maroon Dam. In the Hinds Dam, there's been some good bass caught again this last week. It's warmed up a tiny bit, and although the water's cold, the fish are sort of starting to spread away from their schooling up and into their normal little haunts. And you'll probably get a bit of surface activity early morning and late afternoon as well. But give that a shot in the Hinds if you want to go try some freshwater fishing. This weekend, okay, that's about it in the fishing, folks. This weekend, we've got a bit of a sale on too. It's our Father's Day sale. We've got 20% off store-wide on everything except for the reels, which are our best price online. And everything else is 20% off. And lures, buy 3 lures, get 30% off. And there's a few deals, and we've got a Father's Day catalogue out as well, which is on the on the Tackle World page as well. But yeah, get yourself down, get Dad a good present, enjoy the weekend with your father or yourself with your children and your family, and have a great one. And I'll quickly show you these lures now. So I'm just going to grab the phone and pan over here with my assistant. So this is the thing that you catch in mackerel on these little jelly beans. So we got this little fella here is 5 grams. We've got I think it's a 13, 18 gram, 25, 35, and that's a 15, I think, on that one there. And that's the sort of size you're using, and just casting out into the schools and wanting really quickly. So yeah, get yourself down, grab a few lures, get out there and have a great time. And thank you very much. Dougie Burt.